Hello, my brothers and sisters in the Lord. Today, our station church is St. Lorenzo, Fuori, Mura.
So St. Lawrence outside the walls has a very long history. Now, I've already spoken about St. Lawrence's life and death when we visited St. Lawrence in Penisperna, because Penisperna is where St. Lawrence was killed, and St. Lawrence outside the walls is where he was buried. In fact, there's a fairly large cemetery right near this church. So if you want to hear about his life and death, I will invite you to go listen to that story in Penisperna. So instead of talking about St. Lawrence, I'm going to talk about the significance of this church, both historically as well as spiritually. Historically, almost immediately after the death of St. Lawrence, there was a lot of people that came to this and venerated his tomb as a shrine. After the Edict of Milan comes out in the year 313, a church is constructed on the site of his tomb. However, historians aren't quite sure about this. It seems as though either this church was destroyed by some sort of natural disaster or fell into ruin and disrepair, and so a new church was built. However, even this church saw a lot of wear and tear throughout the centuries, and so there have been numerous renovations, numerous rebuildings on this building. In fact, during World War II, this was the only major church in Rome that was struck by a bomb. And so the entirety of the facade was destroyed, and so they had to rebuild it. And if you look at the walls, you can see older frescoes peeking out, and even older walls behind that. So the church kind of bears witness to the faith of the Roman people throughout the centuries. Turning to the spiritual significance of this church, when I got there this morning, I was the only person in the building. So I had some time just to quietly meditate upon the meaning of St. Lawrence's tomb. Now, St. Lawrence is buried here. However, later on, when the remains of St. Stephen were discovered, they too were brought here. And so St. Stephen's remains were placed with the remains of St. Lawrence. For those that don't know, St. Stephen was the first martyr, the proto-martyr. You can read his story in the Acts of the Apostles. But both of them were deacons. Both of them were ministers of Christ in the world. And they bear witness to the faith, they bear witness to the love they have for the church, and they also bear witness to the care they have for the poor. And when I was meditating upon their lives, I was struck by how close they are still with us, that the core of the Christian message is still resounding in the church, and the call that brought these two martyrs to give their lives for the church is the same call that we ourselves have. And so as you continue your Lenten journey, I offer you these two deacons of the church, these two ministers, these two martyrs to meditate upon.
Anyways, my brothers and sisters in the Lord, hopefully you continue to have a good Lent. May God bless you, and hopefully I'll see you around.